Hi, my name is Philip and welcome to my channel. This is part 8 of my solar powered crypto mining spa pool heater project. Because I've got to wait quite a few months before I can get the second water cooler for the other side of my GPU card, I'm going to convert it to being cooled with a traditional radiator. I've got a fairly common 120 by 240mm radiator. I got 2 fans, but the first fan I got had a crack in the middle of its hub. So I've sent that back to get that swapped out. So tonight I'll only be just fitting 1 fan. I've got a water bottle to help with filling the reservoir once the radiator is attached. I've got a number of soft pipe fittings. I've got some demineralized or distilled water and some concentrated cryo fuel to mix up for the coolant. I've got a bore valve so I can add a drain mechanism so that next time I want to work on it I can easily drain all the fluid out. I've got a little plug which I can plug into a power supply that'll turn the power supply on so I can run the pump to bleed all the air out without having to turn the computer on. And the motherboard only has one spare fan connector, so I've got this 1:4 splitter, so up to 4 fans can run off this. So I'm only going to have 1 fan plugged in initially, but that'll make it easy if I need to connect up more in the future. It's going to be to literally drain the bath. Because these pipes come off a low point in the system, I'm expecting gravity going to mostly just pull the water out. And then as it gets towards the end, I'll probably just tip the case over a bit and take off this this pipe, since that comes from the very bottom of the pump, and let that drain the last of the water out. Okay, the last of the water just drained out of the bath. Let's disconnect this pipe and try and drain the rest of the cooler out. Okay, the reservoirs and the whole system's pretty much empty, so ready to pull it apart. An eagle-eyed viewer last time spotted I'd left one of the plastic pads on one of the thermal pads on the GPU card. So I've just pulled this all out, pulled the whole card apart and taken off that last little plastic strip and put it back in again. Now I think we'll move on to fitting the fan onto the radiator. So there's going to be a fan on each side, so I've only got one of the fans again, so the other fan will go here. I think this will be the hardest fan to fit because there's almost no space in the case for this. The other one should be easy, so we'll get the first fan mounted. So this fan configuration I'm using will be in a push mode, so it's going to push air through the radiator. And then out of the case. All right, we'll get those all tightened up now. I'm just going to try rerunning some of these cables here so that once the radiator goes in, there'll be less sort of stuff in the way, running it through the cable tray in the back. Let's just unplug him from the motherboard. And that's the fan control. I'll unplug him. All right, there's a little cable tie we'll need to cut off. We'll trim him. Right, he can come straight out over here. Yep. All right, yep, that'll get him out of the way. Now I've got a little, this is a fan control cable. I think I'll take him all the way back and out the back of the case, all the way down the bottom here. I think he can come out right here. Okay, let's have a go at getting this thing in and seeing how it's going to go. Needs to sit somewhere about there. Yep, I think we'll put it right there. Let's get some screws, bolts put in. Right, they'll be far too long. Let's see if we've got some shorter ones. Yes, we do. All right, I won't do those up tight until I've sort of got it a bit more sussed out. So I've got a little bit of sliding room here. We've got a light cable here. We're not going to be using any lights, so I think I'll just feed these unused cables into the back cable management system. And it's just out of the way. The other fan will go there, so hopefully he won't be too hard to fit once he arrives. That's all the way. All right, that's the fan PWM or power cable. I think we'll feed him out there as well. And keep all the cables away from the moving parts. I think these are actually looking quite good, kind of in the middle of the case. We're going to need quite a short piece of pipe work to go from here to one of the ports on the radiator. So I'll take this one out and then we can look at cutting them down. Oh, he's quite tight from last time. All right, got him out. What I'm going to do differently from what I did last time is I'm just going to put the fittings in first this time, and then I'm going to put the pipe, soft pipe in hot water, and then put it on. What I'm also going to do is use the rearmost fill port in the reservoir, so I've got access to the front ones. Should I get that right? So it's one port round to the left. All right, let's check him back in again. Yep, now it's the... hold on, no. I want it to use the backmost fill port. So I don't want the cap on that one. That's where the return water is going to come from. Alright, so we'll put one of the fittings on there now. Ooh. It's good. Take out little caps from each of the radiator ports. Put a fitting into that rear radiator one, the harder to get to one. Right, I'll just go get the pipe cutter and we'll cut it up. Alright, let's work out sort of roughly how long we'll need that bit of pipe. Need a little bend in it, should be about that long. Alright, let's there we go. Alright, let me go get some hot water to soak that. Alright, I've just got some hot tap water here, so let's just get him in there. Hopefully he'll soften up a bit. I've got to make sure I put the two fittings on before I attach them as well. Hopefully this water's hot enough, otherwise I'll use the jug. Alright, actually let me just get a little cloth to dry them off with. Okay, let's see how much easier that is to get on. Hopefully it's a bit easier. So I mustn't forget my two fittings. Let's try and get that radiator one on first because he sort of looks the most awkward. That wasn't too bad. Let's see how we go for this one. Oh, I think I've got that pipe a little bit too long. Oh well, let's see. He's like once he's on. Oh no, I don't think it. I think that's actually worked out quite well. All right, let's get these fittings. Let's get these fittings on. All right, that's nice and tight. Okay, we'll use the same trick as before. We'll put these fittings in first and then just soften the pipe in hot water. That one's in good. So get all the way back to the other radiator plug here. Okay, so we'll go figure out how long to make this pipe now. It kind of looks like it'll be a good length about there. Oh, I'm not doing a very good job of this one. Oh, there it goes. All right, I'm just going to go and heat these up in the sink and then come back again. Okay, I've got the two ends done. Let's have a go at pushing these on quickly. Well, that one went on a bit easier. I'll make sure I get my fittings in place. All right, now we can squeeze this pipe on. Oh, that's definitely much easier when those pipes have been heated in hot water. Alright, that feels nice and tight. Now we'll put a way to drain this if we ever need to do maintenance. I've got this bit of sort of leftover pipe here, so I thought I'd connect it to that port there, and then I'll just leave it sitting there with this ball valve, and if I ever needed to, I can just pull the pipe back and then drain it easily. So let's do the same trick with the other ones. We'll put the fittings in. Just got to take that one out of there. I'll put that one in into my ball valve. That fitting can go into there. All right, I'll just go heat up this pipe again and we can put the fittings on. Okay, so I've heated the pipe up, so we'll get this put onto its fitting. Alright, we'll just do up the soft fitting on that end. I'll do it up on this end. Alright, so we've got a nice easy way to maintain it, and when I'm not using it, we'll just leave that tucked in over here, tucked inside the case. Alright, now to get the fan cable in. So there's one cable that needs to go to the fan control on the motherboard, so we'll get him plugged in. Oh, it's hard to see. Perfect. All right, and I've already plugged through the fan cable there, so I'll just plug him in the back. All right, I think we're almost ready to mix up the fluid now. Okay, in preparation, I've got a spare power supply out here, and I've put on the little loop connector, which means when I turn this on, that'll power it up. And I've plugged in only the pump. I think I'm pretty happy with where the radiator is sitting and all the pipes are. So I think I'll just tighten those screws up. Oh, that's using an Allen key. All right, got that Allen key, so we'll just tighten up the radiator now. Should have enough space to put that other fan in there nicely later on when it arrives. Hopefully one fan will be enough to give it cooling, but only one way to find out. Okay, now it's time to mix up the coolant. It says to mix the 100 mils of coolant with 900 mils of distilled water. So I think I'll do the water first. I got the water from Super Cheap Auto. And I'm just using a measuring jug here. Okay, that's 500 mils, so 400 to go after this. All right, another 400 mils. Oh, let's turn it around to the side with the mils on it. Okay, now it's just going to be a matter of adding all of this. All right, I'm obviously not triggering the child-proof cap. Here it goes. I'm just using clear coolant, but you can get them in all different colors. All right, we'll put our squeeze bottle lid back on. Now, I guess we'll just try and give that a bit of a mix up. Without it squirting out. Good, it's relatively stable. Okay, we'll take off, we've got to get this filled now, so we'll take off one of these top ports. Which one's going to be easy? I think these will be an easier one to get into. Oh. Oh, that was really handy. All right, I've managed to get that filling port off. Let's have a go at initially filling the radiator. Yep, I can see the fluid slowly filling up. So I'll probably have to go through this cycle several times. It's interesting how the heat has made the heat on the pipework made it turn white. So that's a litre of fluid I've mixed up. Well, hopefully that's going to be enough to fill the system. I just have no idea at the moment. All right, we'll give that one run and then I'll repeat that process. Fingers crossed. Where's the switch? So we should probably see the fluid level drop down. Yep. All right, I think this might require quite a few iterations, so I'll just finish this part off camera. All right, I finally got this water flowing, the fluid flowing around it and the radiator staying at a stable level. I'm going to leave this running for quite a while now and just let all the air bubbles work its way out, and then I'll keep an eye on the to make sure everything's staying dry and there's no leaks. Okay, I've now got the computer all back together and it's running off its own power supply. I've even been able to put the glass face back on the computer now because it's the water cooling is keeping it cool enough now. So I'll have to park this project now for 3 to 6 months, however long it takes to get the EK front water cooler for the GPU card. So until then, catch you later.